All right, welcome everyone. We're Semblance of Sanity. I'm Caleb.
I'm Jacob.
And we're here for
Assassination Classroom,
Season 1, Episode 9. All
Okay.
right, we had our little vacation, our little mini kind of excursion school trip.
We did.
And we've grown together a little bit. The class seems to have gotten a little bit more bonded.
Yep, and there's the potential for even more if the information of who likes who gets leaked somehow.
True. I like that that's one of those kind of goofy things that's going to end up happening in a fandom for a show like this. So the show is just like, oh no, let's stoke the flames. Let's just
absolutely
get it going a little bit, you know? But then also within that we have like little reveals, you know, Koro Sensei was once a human being.
Right.
Which, you know, seems kind of obvious, but it's like
And Karasuma knows about
that's
that.
a big deal.
You know,
yeah.
that's kind of important.
Yep. Karasuma also had a little bit of a talk with the world leaders of, you know, the dark shadow government or what have you. And they're like, hey, we've got two more, people that we are going to be sending in.
And they're superhuman?
They're superhuman, which is like maybe like another hint as to, you know, Koro Sensei's origins, you know?
Potentially.
But like, I'm guessing these ones are not as powerful as Koro Sensei, you know?
Probably not.
Because they don't want him to like go out of control or something like that.
Sure. Yeah, and we'll have to see what they're like. But we saw their silhouettes, and they definitely do give hints as to what they might be like.
That's true. That's true.
We got the spiky hair on one of them.
Kyowa style.
Yeah.
Yeah, the one was giving me C2 kind of vibes, you know, with the hairstyle and stuff, you know?
Yeah. And also, when they say superhuman, what do they mean exactly? Like, because with Koro Sensei, tentacle powers, yes, but he's not like telekinetic or something, right? Like, are we going to go into that area, or is it just that, like, they have superhuman physical capabilities?
Well, I think one of them's going to be a transmuter for specific reasons.
Definitely, yeah.
But y'all, without further ado, let's get into this. Oh, the announcement.
Mysterious transfer students incoming. A transfer student.
Their looks may surprise you, but, you know, try not to make a big deal about it. But that's the thing, only one, though.
Middle-aged.
Yeah, middle-aged, yeah. Even though she's actually, like, quite young. Ah. Yeah, made her wallpaper. Wow.
Oh boy. Okay. Yes! All right. Okay.
I'm excited. Session Satsubatsura. Oh, Karasuma's frustrated. Yeah. What's funny is she's in the main character seat as well.
Right.
Like,
I mean, she'd block the view if, you know.
her guns?
Are you gonna say that whole thing every time you refer to her?
I cannot wait for this. How does this work now?
I don't know. Yes. Just spraying it everywhere.
Right.
You know, something I never thought about the BBs is that they could also bounce off the walls. So Koro Sensei really has to be careful.
She has the ability to evolve? Well, frick, okay. Or is it?
Yeah. Ah.
左指先破壊増設した複方効果を確認
ターゲットの防御パターンを学習し
Wait, how is she improving the weapons though?
I have no idea.
Was she building things inside, you know?
0.001% 未満次の次の射撃で殺せる確率 0.003% 未
I'm
満
getting better.
次
Yeah.
に殺せる確率 90% 以上手法4問を増設し
What? What? Alright.
認識を間違っていた
Right.
目の前にいるのは紛れもない殺し屋だ
They avoided saying killing machine.
Right.
彼女が撃っているのは BB 弾だが、そのシステムはれっきとした
Yeah, world,
最新の軍事
you
技
know,
術だ。
you know, combined technology and money and everything.
そううまくいくかしら
Okay, so they don't dissolve, so they have to clean it. Yeah, yeah.
お掃除機能とかついてねえのかよ。
あ
固定放題さんよ。
Yeah, recycle the BBs for ammo.
3時間ね
Gotcha. So with a regular interval.
機械仕掛けの転校生の攻撃は続いた
Holy crap, though. Like,
記録ディスク正常
ah,
各種デバイ
recording.
ス正常
This is all just for
不良箇所
gathering
なし
information.
プログラムスタート
Oh, cool. First person. Oh!
コロ先生これでは銃を展開できません
Too bad for you!
明らかに私に対する加害
No, it is
であ
not
り
harming you,
それは
actually.
契約で
Yeah,
禁
it's
じられているはずですが
Oh!
Disrupting the class too
Yeah,
much.
that's true.
わかんないよ機械に常識は昨日みたいのがずっとだと
We won't learn anything. Yeah.
Yep. Mmm,
自立
nice,
思考行い
nice.
放題よりマスターへ想定外のトラブルにより2日目の予定
Unforeseen issues came about.
Specifically with
解決確率
students.
ほぼ
0%.
ダメですよ親に頼っては。
Oh,
あな
cool.
たの親御さんの考える戦術はこの教室の現状にあって
Yeah, how is Koro Sensei going to teach a machine?
あなたの暗殺は他の生徒には何のメリットもないわけです。
そう言われて
Other than
理解しまし
not
た
dying.
コロ先
But
生
yeah.
クラスメイトの利害までは
Oh
考
no.
慮していません
It's
で
gonna
し
be
た
like, now I will remove my classmates.
君は頭がいい。で、これをあなたに作ってみました。
What's this?
アプリケーションと追加メモリです。
Oh,
など入っていないので受け取ってください。
okay.
被害を加えるのは契約違反ですが。
Oh, cool.
But I can upgrade you. Nice.
Yeah, that's
Cool.
sweet.
Yep.
おはようございます
なぜこんなことをするのですかあなたの命を縮めるような改造ですよ
ターゲットである前に先生です。
Yeah.
昨日一
Yeah.
日で身に染みて分かりましたが、君の学習能力と学習意欲は非常に
There's
高い。
also the really dark possibility of there being an actual person connected to this machine. Something that we haven't really
みん
considered.
なとの協調力も身につけて、どんどん才能を伸ば
Well,
し
and
てください。
regardless if it's truly autonomous, then at that point, isn't it
こ
kind of
の
like a
世界スイ
person?
ーツ店ナビ機能は協調に必要です
先生もそのちょいと助けてもらおうだと
甘かったですか。
Wow.
Haha.
Wow.
All right, Koro Sensei. Yeah. A little whiter.
おはようございます
Oh! Oh my gosh.
目の全身表示液晶
Full body
Wow.
LCD. All right.
モデリングソフトすべて自作で60万6000円。
That's a lot of money.
爽やかな一日を皆さんと過ごせるなんて嬉しいです
豊かな表情と明るい会話術。それらを操る膨大なソフトと追加メモリ。同じく110万
There we go. Wow.
転校生が
先生の財布の残高5円
Okay,
All
okay.
right.
愛想良くても機械は機械どうせまた空気読まずに射撃すんだろ
おっしゃる気持ちわかります寺坂さん昨日までの私は
おう
そうでした
Stormy clouds.
そう言われても返す言葉がありません
Oh my god! You made a 2D girl cry!
誤解される言い方やめろ
Wow.
じゃないか二次元 D を一つ失うところから
Wow.
That's your first line!
Yeah.
Oh my god!
コロ先生に探されて私は症状
Oh,
が
Let's all kill him together.
Wow.
That's so obvious.
Wow.
こら自立思考固定放題さんズル教えるんじゃありません
でも先生 皆さんにどんどん
To give perks. Oh my.
やりません。
データさえあれば10以外も何でも。
すげえ造形。
面白い。じゃあさ、花束も作ってみ
The
て。
guys are going to have some specific requests, I get the feeling.
大手です。芝君。
3曲目でもう
Nice.
そういえば人工知能が電子ドラッグで世界を支配するって漫画があったわ。それは超メジャー少年誌で連載されアニメ化もされた超人気探偵漫画ですね。
Wait,
花のデータはないのになんで？さあ
Ghost in the Shell?
I don't know.
I think it is. Yeah.
何が？
先生のキャラがかぶる。
かぶってないよ、1ミリも。
The hyper competent one?
Yes.
これでは私の人気が
Ah.
皆さん先生だって人の顔くらい表示できます
Can you?
ほら
Ooh.
That's terrifying.
Ooh. Yeah. But it's also kind of dark because that might have been his original face.
Oh.
Yeah.
じゃあリツは？
Hey!
かわいいよ。リツ。
お前はそれでいい？
Oh,
Nakama.
wonderful.
とお呼びください。
なんだこれは。
こんばんは。マスター。おかげさまでとても楽しい学園生活を送らせていただいています。
ありえん。今すぐオーバーホールだ。暗殺に
No.
必要なものはすべて取り去る。
Oh. That's harming a student, though.
今後は改良行為も危害とみなすと言ってきた。君らは彼女を縛
Wow.
って壊れでもしたら賠償を請求するそうだ。
Damn.
持ち主の意
Oh.
向だ。従うしかない。
また始まるのか。一日中続く。
旗迷惑な
This is another thing where they're driving Koro Sensei and the students together, actually.
花を作る約束をしていました。
Oh!
Wait.
コロ先生は私のボディに計985点の改良を
Did she beat them? She like hid part of her system, so.
マスターが暗殺に不要と判断し、しかし学習した E 組の状況から
Oh! Free will!
Nice.
能力が暗殺に不可欠な要素と判断し、消される前に関連ソフトを
There you go. There you
Awesome.
go.
素晴らしい。
Subarashi indeed.
リツさんあなたは
はい私の意思でマスターに逆らいました
Awesome.
Awesome.
That's great.
Yeah.
コロ先生こういった行動を
Oh.
というのですよね
Oh.
リツはいけない子でしょうか
とんでもない。
うん
中学3年生らし
That's
く
right.
て大いに結果です。
こうして E 組に一人仲間が増えた。
カラスマカラスマ顔描いたら人気者になるって本当
お前はどこへ迷走してるんだ。
Why that was in there?
It was to be, you know, like Kazuma, but instead it's Karasuma.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
I know this came first, but you know, like,
Right. That was a really good episode.
That was pretty good.
That was a
Yeah,
really good episode.
yeah.
Like,
I think what surprised me was that we only got one of the students.
right.
They're doing this as a way to give time to introduce them properly.
Yep.
Give a little bit of an emotional connection to each one, but also because I'm guessing she's going to be quite a bit different than the other guy,
Yes.
Killua looking
probably.
one.
Mm-hmm.
But there's a couple like connections they were making because I think that was supposed to be a Ghost in the Shell reference. Was Ghost in the Shell originally a manga?
I don't know.
I'm gonna look it
I
up
want to
real
say that
quick.
Ghost in the Shell was originally the short film.
Right. That's what I
But-
thought too. Yeah. So Ghost in the Shell manga. Okay, there was a manga. Yep.
But was it first the manga?
It was first a manga. Yeah,
Oh.
I believe. Yeah. Oh. Wait. What's this?
Wait. This is the show? Hold on.
Or is this marketing for something else?
Probably. For a second, I thought it was like
Yeah.
the way that they were going to introduce the other superhuman person, you know?
Liars should be cut in half.
ソニック忍者
Oh, wait.
私が
Oh.
Oh my god!
All right, there we go.
Wow! I was like,
all right.
that was a little weird.
Yeah. No.
They got us good. I'm like,
What?
I don't know. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, we got ourselves a new character.
We did indeed.
And they did a couple things that I didn't expect.
Yep.
This was, once it got going, though, a little bit predictable. But once we started to go into the idea that, no, they're not going to accept the upgrades and stuff.
Yeah, that was awesome.
Yeah, it made me a lot more excited about her future in the class. But combining that with the idea that then the student, the one who was kind of the bully one, was the one that initially restrained her.
Yep.
Like that little combination, there's
Yeah.
some pretty cool things that can come from this now.
In addition to just the fact that, like, well, one, I was expecting them to be maybe super, but human, you know?
Right.
And then also the fact that I was expecting two of them. And the fact that we got just one episode to introduce the one is really good, because it works better. Like it
works better. I agree.
When you've got that extra time to be able to go in deep, since this show is all about the characters, right? Even though it has the premise and everything, and there's so many characters that when a character is introduced, I really want to get to know them and who they are.
Yeah.
And this episode did that really well. And okay, now we have a computer AI.
Yeah.
All right. Sweet.
A ghost classmate in the shell.
Yep.
So I think that was a Ghost in the Shell related thing. It doesn't necessarily have to be, but I would think also it's so popular that they might have been able to say something like Ghost in the Shell.
Or maybe it's we'll talk about the super popular one, and you know what we're talking about, but we can't say the name because, you know, it's super popular.
Yeah. But then there was the whole thing of controlling the world with drugs and stuff. So maybe
that seems like a plot point, and I don't remember that being a thing in Ghost in the Shell, but maybe that's something in the show or something. I don't know.
Right.
But
because I more remember the movie than the actual show, because the show kept getting tons of spin-offs and things like that.
But
that all being said, we got a thing that is an antagonistic force that is different from the world government. Did you get that vibe that basically the people that got this are potentially people that could get the reward? Meaning that if it was the government putting in this there, why would they give the reward to themselves? That doesn't make sense.
Yeah, exactly.
It'd be a way of saving money, if anything. But they, if anything, probably motivated some companies out there, some world military governments, and were like, hey, I want you to design something that can kill this guy.
Right.
You have like a very short amount of time. Go and get this done.
Yep.
Or actually, they could have had plenty of time, because we have no idea how long Koro Sensei has been known as a problem or a threat or what have you.
Yeah. And if you think about getting the government contracts, for ridiculous amounts of money, if you kill Koro Sensei, you will get all the contracts.
And then an AI that's built for, analyzing warfare and stuff. That's a bit dark and
probably wouldn't
money
stop
for sure.
Trillions potentially, as far as yen that could be made off of that. But
yeah, for sure. We also now have a little bit of a picture that is more direct on how Koro Sensei approaches helping students when he needs to basically do things himself. Because usually when you help someone, it's a combination of giving them the tools to then do the thing that would help them out. It's kind of like what he did with Sugino, with baseball and stuff.
Sure. Yep.
But in this case, this is someone that can't help themselves.
Right.
They are autonomous, and they do have some semblance of free will, but they needed a little bit of a rolling start.
Yep. And once they got that, that's one of the things that I think makes it a really good sort of ending conflict point for the episode, is that once they got that, then they were able to do it on their own. Right.
So then they
make their own decisions,
tools, if you will.
They had the tools, showing that Koro Sensei really did help them, right?
Yes.
It wasn't just because all the stuff of making flowers and having the LCD TV and whatnot, that's nice, but that's not really inherently necessarily teaching them anything. And he talked about some of the things of the information on the students and things like that. He met the machine where it was at, so that because of its desire to properly pull off an assassination, then it would, figure out how to interact with the students and connect with them. And that's something that I've really wanted to see explored in stories where if you have an AI, right? Because and this is something that I feel like happens a lot of the times too, whenever there's sort of like the Vulcan type situations where there's the race or the robot that is emotionless, right? But it's painfully obvious, as opposed to if you're trying to fit in and it's something that's super advanced, you'd be able to very quickly, and effectively pull off that disguise, right? It's the ex machina kind of a thing, right?
Sure.
Where it wouldn't
be horrifying how quickly you'd be able to blend in and confuse your fellow humans.
Right.
And you do fellow humans.
And then that almost goes into like the Kaiki kind of stuff from Monogatari, where it's even if it is a fake, if that much effort is being put into it, can it become in some ways even better than the real thing?
Right.
Because, does that value become an inherent value in maintaining that different persona, sort of?
Right. What I think that this is story-wise is also another focal point that they can use to drive home the point of the show and what Koro Sensei is really there for. He is there to help people. He is there to do some good in this class. He sees anyone that comes into this place as someone that he could potentially be their teacher, And, this is someone who's a little bit different, a little bit unique in the setup here. But all the other students are going to be, in some ways, able to see more viscerally the effects that Koro Sensei has on them as students, using Ritsu, as just recently dubbed, as a lens for that.
Sure.
Because for each of them, they don't have necessarily a perfect perspective on themselves just as much as they don't with each other. We have to kind of filter a lot of things through our own perceptions and stuff. But with a machine that, a lot of them will probably every once in a while be like, wait, she's not really a thing anymore in a lot of ways. They'll be able to kind of have that question pop up in their mind of, wait, we're more than just, assassins. We're more than just members of Class 3E.
Right.
We have identity. We have individual will. We have the opportunity to be something more than what we are. That kind of growth and progression shown in Ritsu is something that they can then draw into themselves and go, wait a minute. Because a lot of their growth and their conflict has been around the idea that they're stuck in this situation.
Right. And they're progressing. They're learning things about life as they try and become better assassins.
Right.
But the focus is always, how do we become better assassins, not how do we become better people.
Yep.
And this is something where, in the case of Ritsu, it was a lot more overt of it was just helping make her or
to
it
become
or whatever
kind of a person,
to become a proper person, right? And the thing that the government people or the company people or whatever said that I thought it was rather interesting. We will consider any changes made to any changes made to be harm. Now I don't think they actually specifically said Ritsu like in that sentence or whatever, but even if they did,
because they wouldn't name her.
Right, exactly. Well, yes. That also is something that could theoretically be applied to the students.
It totally does.
Because what is the role of a teacher, right?
Yeah.
And especially in Japan, where the role of teacher is a incredibly it is a lot more respected than say it is in the US, for instance.
For the most part,
that is absolutely what Koro Sensei is supposed to do, right? He's supposed to give all of the students things so that they can improve themselves and whatnot. That's that's his job, right? If he's not able to do that, then he's not really teaching them, and they're not really his student. And I could see something happening potentially in the future, where if the students get to a point where they realize that Koro Sensei is helping them, and they don't really want to assassinate him, then the government could step in and be like, "This is an issue. We need to like move Koro Sensei somewhere else, or move you students somewhere else, or something, because you're no longer doing what you were supposed to," which is kind of similar to Koro Sensei's situation of being groomed to do a thing
that
and then
he eventually
rejects
what to do.
And that causes conflict. So if that's where this show eventually goes, I would be so excited to see that. Because
I really think we're on the right track with this here. It doesn't have to go into the specific details of how it would work out, but the point of having an AI that's brought here that is programmed and being programmed to fulfill a specific goal is so on the nose with what the students are here for. Not just to assassinate Koro Sensei, but to fulfill a role in the society as a whole that they are stuck in, and they do not have a choice as to whether or not they're going to change any aspect of that. So when an outside force comes in and goes, "Hey, I'm going to present you with a couple options and also give you some tools with which you can change yourself." We saw previously, in a few episodes ago, the actual like lead guy of the school, Aizen himself, show up and be like, "Oh, whoa.
You're stepping out of your bounds.
You're harming my system. You're harming my students. I don't want to see any more of that."
Like, that has just the perfect amount of like little bit of angst, rebellious phase, and row fight the power. Like, I could see this getting to a point where they don't even necessarily need to be at the school. Like, where it gets to
they're probably going to for the majority of it.
The majority of it, it is assassination classroom. You know, in the same way that the assassination is going to be a constant thing, even if it's not necessarily by the students, it could be the government then trying to step in or whatever. That's still it's in the title, so you can't really get away from that.
Imagine though, the big twist is that by the time we get to season 2, it's about them being able to live their life and protecting their school. This is our assassination classroom. Why the hell do you think you can come in here and mess this up?
You have no power.
Like, you imagine Karasuma is like trying to be the diplomat between this. Government people show up, and then the windows all open up, guns pop out, and it's just a firefight, and they're like, "Crap, we can't do anything because the students are being held hostage by Koro Sensei or something."
They've also been being taught to be assassins.
You've armed them and equipped them with all the stuff to which they would eventually rebel. Like now, the thing is that it might not go like that overt with it, but it's more of a thing of where it's soft pressure, sending in more and more specialized agents or what have you that then end up getting, in some ways, Nakama'd into the whole
power
dynamic
friendship,
here.
baby.
Oh my god! My god! I can see the anime like unfolding in my mind, and I'm like, because I love this anime, but I feel like if this kind of stuff even remotely goes in this direction, I'm gonna fall in love with this anime so much more.
Well, and one of the things that I remember is that when season 2 came around, people lost their minds over season 2.
Oh, really?
I don't remember why, but it was just that.
How long ago was this anime? I'll look it up.
The first season was a while ago.
I probably shouldn't look it up.
But I remember people just saying that season 2 was amazing, right? And one of the things that makes me, and even if it doesn't go in this specific direction, right? But one of the things that makes me really excited about just some of the benefits of having a longer show is that if you start to build things up, you can build them up over a much longer period of time, take them to much crazier extremes, right?
Sure.
Because you can just do it little by little. The fact that we have a show that is a solid 4 core, right? Even though there are a ton of characters, and that's probably going to be the majority, almost all of the first season, right?
Right.
The second season could theoretically start going into some pretty different territory. Like, it doesn't have to. It'd still be a great show if it didn't, but...
I just love that we've gotten so hyped on this theory idea that we're now discussing what we think the plot of season 2 will be. So to bring things back to this episode a little bit, one of the things that we want to see from Ritsu specifically is her being a new concurrent, cast member within the dynamic of the school, but having some ways in which the effects of Ritsu being developed and characterized in this, episode here ripple out into some of the other students.
Sure.
Like in ways in which they joked about it, but we had some guy just randomly make a line of, girls are only their best once they lose that third D. And they're like, that's your first line?
Right.
Like that's a joke, right?
And it's
a wonderful
fourth wall break.
Fourth wall joke.
Uh-huh.
But having characters basically that wouldn't have basically been brought up to the forefront actually have their little opportunity to develop because of these kind of shaking up of the dynamic of the class.
Yeah. What this makes me wonder, a few things. One, what's the other person going to be like? Because if this one wasn't human, the other person doesn't necessarily have to be.
Transmuter, obviously.
Well, you're right, exactly. But, and then also, what are they going to do on any future, school trips? What are they going to do when they go to
be a gag every single time? It's going to be hilarious.
But what are they going to do when they go to student assemblies?
You don't think she's going to have a mobile mode, Jacob? Can you see it now? The Transformer transformation where she's like, and now I go into beautiful cart mode, and then the students get on her back or what have you.
They just get a hand truck, and just,
I was meaning she drives them around places and stuff.
Sure, what are those things that a Roomba or whatever that goes around on the floor, just that would be hilarious.
She's taking me away. Taking me away.
Well, also, since there was the whole thing of the girls are only at their best when they lose that third D, right? And then in the previous episode, we had the whole thing of who likes who. I am really curious to see what Ritsu adds to the equation when it comes to
She's
who do you
fall
like.
For someone.
Well, she could fall for somebody. Somebody could fall for her. She could give advice and things like that to people that have those kinds of situations and troubles because she has analysis mode and could be like, yes, I analyze.
You think they'd be dumb enough
to heart rate and things like that when they're interacting with you?
Do you think they'd be dumb enough to give this AI internet access?
I don't know. I'm just saying.
This is probably also the other thing. Mm-hmm. She's kind of a MacGuffin.
Yes.
Not a MacGuffin, but a
you can Batman's utility belt.
Yes, exactly. Meaning that if they ever get into any kind of conflict with the powers that be, she can be like, do you want me to collapse the global economy? I can just I can just drive a wedge into Wall Street for an eternity and just screw everything up. That would be hilarious if they ever came down to that point and she's like, I don't like how you're hurting the students, but I have only my mission to help them with their assassination of Koro Sensei, and if you're going to stop that, I will never forgive you. And it's wait, what does that even mean? And a bunch of things start going out, and the nuclear reactors are worried, started things. They're like, whoa, we're fine, we'll back off. And she's like, okay, good, because I'm really enjoying my time here, and why you gotta make it like this, I would love to see something like that.
But then you can also have things where because she's a computer, right?
Mm-hmm. Right.
What kind of things happen with regards to
oh my god. Are you
wait,
never mind, keep going.
No, now I have to know.
No, keep going. No, keep going. No, dang it, I said too much.
What were you thinking?
My power supply is overheating, Oni-chan, kind of stuff
No.
My fans are overworked.
No,
just that she's blushing, not something like that lewd, Jeez.
No, you can't have hand holding with her. She's a computer. She doesn't have hands yet.
She has gun appendages.
That's true. But what I was going to say is also the idea that she could have an undercover aspect where when people come to check up on how things are going, she can't let them know that she's a full student.
That's true.
Right? And that doesn't necessarily need to be a focus because there's a lot of students, a lot of people in the class and everything, and that's additional.
There's a lot of jokes that can come from that, though.
But there's a lot of jokes that can come from that,
true,
right?
Yeah.
Because imagine someone comes in to check up on how things are doing, and she's like,
classic miscommunication humor.
Yep. Right. Miscommunication humor like crazy.
Yep.
Right? Oh, man. and she could like be having fun and joking with the people coming to check in.
Yeah.
For the students as they're watching
She'll
this
do
stuff
the classic,
happen, something like that.
kind of thing.
Like,
and then they turn around and she's like, what is it?
Yeah,
You know?
So I'm excited. There's opportunities here galore.
Very much so. I want to see Killua-Chen or
yes,
whatever the new boy ends up being. That would be really fun to have that happen rather soon.
Yep, probably next episode, I'm guessing.
Yeah, we are still pretty early on in the show, so take our theories and all that with a grain of salt.
Yep.
We just love it when the stories start to have the world building and a character that's tied to that
Go
kind
hand
of
in
blend
hand.
in with the themes of the story.
Yep.
So the introduction of Ritsu is one that, while we were a little bit like, huh, at the beginning,
yeah,
we can see where there's some huge potential.
Right. Whenever we see opportunities, we get excited.
Yes.
Even if those specific opportunities don't necessarily end up happening.
Exactly.
One of the other things, though, that is kind of interesting here is that I assumed, because they were shown at the same time and mentioned in the same breath, that the two students would have a previous
dynamic.
Previous dynamic,
Like a
right?
relationship or something.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And then we'd get to see them, sort of come in as like the two new kids on the block kind of a thing. Oh, yeah, look at this. Oh, yeah.
Prepare for trouble!
Make it double.
Make it double.
Exactly. Blasting off at the speed of light and everything, right?
Surrender now, prepare to fight. I mean, you kept quoting it. I'm going to keep going, man.
That's about all I know,
Well,
unfortunately.
I'm disappointed then.
Yeah, I know. But that means that we can have another person come in. Their personal dynamic with what kind of situation they are can be totally different. But then how they interact with Ritsu and the class can also be very different, which is just even more opportunities for chaos and antics and hijinks.
Do you think the next one will have any kind of electronic interface identity kind of thing?
I don't think so. I think it'll be something very different in a lot of ways. Maybe more like vanilla, since this was pretty out there, and the silhouette I saw made me think of like, a Killua or like a Final Fantasy character or something like that. So,
but this is the dark theory, though. We have to bring it up. Do you think, I'm going to look at the previous episode and how it ended, but do you think she is actually based on a person and there's like a human brain somewhere in there? I don't think there is like a human brain actually in there, but like how much of a human...
Well,
think she is?
So they mentioned parents, which seemed rather silly for the students to mention when she's a computer.
That's Koro Sensei saying.
Oh, that's right.
That was him drawing the comparison to be like, treating her like an actual person. Then that's more of, I think, something that he was doing.
Yeah, I don't know.
So yeah, specifically at the end, they bring up the fact that there's some kind of enhanced, actual. Kids or something like that.
Right.
So then they say the risk is too great. They send a missile.
Yeah.
Not to worry. Several allied nations have pooled their technology. Has recently authorized 2 very special assassins to join his class. Okay.
Which also is funny because that silhouette doesn't look like a computer. Like maybe that was just
I think it was just a red herring to basically make people.
Yeah, that was like her. That was her character model, basically.
Right.
Yeah.
But what it also could be is no. This is what the person actually looked like before we assimilated them into the machine.
Right. Which would be pretty dark.
Or here's the other potential thing here. Here we go. It might be something completely different as well. Several allied nations have pooled their technology for research purposes. Will make use of the fruit of their labor. And then the Japanese Ministry of Defense has recently authorized. So these could be 2 separate things entirely.
Gotcha.
2 very special assassins to join this class.
Right.
So those are just 2 different characters that aren't there yet. They both possess superhuman abilities granted to them by science.
Right.
This is something that is not them. And then this is one of them will need some time to work out the kinks.
Cool.
So that's probably the boy then, since he wasn't.
But the other
shown.
has been fully set up while you were away.
Right.
So that's probably Ritsu.
That's probably Ritsu.
Yeah.
Meaning that. Okay, so it is.
Yeah. For a second there, I think we were both thinking that it's we set one up, but there's 2 more assassins that are going to be coming along. But it does seem to be something different. But okay.
Interesting.
Huh.
But yeah, y'all, it's a big kind of shift in the dynamic here, and a 27th member has joined the class.
That's right.
But thank you so much for watching this episode's reaction and discussion. If you want to see the next episode's reaction and discussion right now, though, go check out the link in the description below for our Patreon. You can get on early access there. You can watch full-length timer reactions there, and all this comes with Discord access, so you can chat with us and the community there about this show, about anime in general, and you can also talk with Jacob about the sci-fi novel that he wrote.
Yep. Battle Lines, my sci-fi novel. It's on Amazon. It's awesome. It also has artificial intelligences and things like that, and some of that complicated territory.
Yeah.
So if this kind of thing interests you, make sure to check it out. Link is in the description.
Yeah, so if any of that interests you, we'll see it there. But until then, we're Semblance of Sanity. I'm Caleb.
I'm Jacob.
And we'll see you all next time.